and welcome back. I hope you're doing well. I hope you've enjoyed the previous digital marketing videos that we've been looking at, and this one specifically is now focusing more on the social media side of digital marketing, how we can use that to our advantage, and how we can really benefit from that. So what we're looking at and what we've looked at so far, again, we've taken it from traditional versus digital marketing. What's the difference? What are the principles that we really need to be taking forward with us? What is SEO? We determined that it's the organic way of trying to rank higher on Google through website optimization and making sure that we're producing real valuable content for our target audience. We've then looked at a little bit around inorganic marketing and actually paying for Google ads and making sure that we can rank higher. And then we've also had a look at analytics for marketing, so how we can use Google Analytics or tools like SmartLook to help us become much more optimized with the website that we have. Remember that what we're looking at as a website is a store. And when people come into our store, we want them to feel confident, comfortable, and have trust in us. Now, on that important element of trust, or ways that we can drive people towards our store, we've had a look at SEO, making sure that we can rank higher on Google, inorganic marketing by paying for essentially paying Google ads to try and make sure we're ranking higher. And I'm sure you are already all over this and have already thought about this, the importance of social media when it comes to trying to build our target audience. So again, there are two ways of looking at social media, and we've touched on it before and we'll touch on it again. Organic, essentially unpaid/free things that we can do, and inorganic, so paid initiatives that can help us to reach our target audience much more quickly. And so what we're really looking at now is social media has absolutely changed the way that companies are doing business. And certainly as startups, one of the questions that hopefully came into your mind at the beginning when we were going around, and I mean the real beginning, so when we're looking at that startup strategy piece and we're saying, well, let's get out of the building. Let's go and speak to people who we think have this problem. Well, one of the ways that you can start to test it very quickly is with a landing page, or by using social media to get in contact with people who you think are going to have are going to share that problem. And so social media is a way of us actually trying to find our initial target audience, but then also starting to scale. And you can scale infinitely fast with social media, given the number of people that are using it now, and given the data that it's collected allows us to make sure that any campaigns that we run can be really, really targeted. So if you're interested in learning a little bit more around the organic versus the inorganic play, have a look at these two videos. These two articles. They dive into a little bit more detail around the power of social media and how you can start to use it. Now, what we want to make sure is that obviously, as a business owner, you're an entrepreneur, you're working for a startup. The initial stage, there's not a huge amount of capital that you can burn on these sorts of things. So it really depends on, if we are going to go down the inorganic route, i.e. paid, then we need to make sure that we're showing the return on investment that we're getting. So that's the importance of analytics. But then equally, we want to make sure that we're putting in time, energy, and effort to making sure that we've got good organic campaigns that are building trust with our audience. That's what we really, really want to get out of social media. It's not about just showing how good we are. We want to build trust with our audience. And there are a few ways that you can start to build trust with your audience. So that's really looking around a couple of areas. So let's take each one as we go through. So one of the ways that we can essentially engage in and build that audience base is through this inorganic growth, right? So can we pay for ads, making sure that we're going and putting our image, our offering in front of the people that we think are our exact demographic, exact demographic, age, their geographic location. All this is really, really important. The second area is obviously organic growth, which you've already touched on, and we're relying essentially on our own resources. Now we can put out our own ideas, our own content, hopefully original content, and that will start to help you develop and build that trust and bond with people. So a few ways that you can start to engage, certainly if we're thinking around Instagram, is we can follow and then unfollow, those sorts of things. It's not really the most efficient way of going it, nor would I necessarily recommend it as much, because what we're really wanting to do is have people find us. But sometimes it can help in those initial stages, so they can say, oh, who's followed me? Oh, that's interesting. Yes, I do actually have that problem. Well, how do you actually find people who you might want to follow first? Well, go onto your competitor offerings, i.e. people who have that same offering that you have or something very similar. Who's following them, right? Those are the sorts of things that you might want to start looking into. The second thing is, how can we really engage with our audience? And that's what's really, really important, is that engagement style. So we've put out some content, or we're looking at other people's content and we're starting to engage in them. We're commenting on things, we're liking things, we are adding our opinion to things, be that on LinkedIn, Facebook, or Instagram, or Twitter, of course. So lots of different ways where we're trying to engage. And that can be, you can do that for half an hour a day, right? You don't need to spend any longer than half an hour a day in that particular, if you're very, very focused, and you can get through a lot of that. And the third part is then putting out really valuable content. So are we putting out content that's allowing people to have implementable, essentially immediately implementable advice that's going to help them in the domain where you serve? And what you start to do is you start to build trust, and you start to build that image of somebody who can then help them. So the key thing to remember is that not everyone who visits your website or visits your social media site is ready to buy from you at that particular point in time. Okay, so let me repeat that. Not everyone who comes to your website or your social media page is ready to buy from you at that particular point in time. Some people are looking to buy from you in 30 days. Some people are looking to buy from you potentially in 60 days. Some people are looking to buy from you potentially in 90 days. And so what we want to make sure is that if they're going to follow us, or if they're going to give us their email, that we are continually nurturing that relationship. And the way that we can nurture that relationship is by showing day after day, week after week, month after month, that we can put out valuable content for them that is helping them in their daily life, or helping them solve the issue that you are becoming and showing that you are the expert at. So what are ways that we can actually do that? How can we make a really, really good looking social media post that doesn't cost me a lot? I don't want to necessarily outsource my social media at the moment. You can do, and you can do it quite cheaply using things like Fiverr. It may not be the best quality, but it allows somebody else to take that off your plate, so that they can make sure that you're getting continual content out, but equally, you can concentrate on building your business, and you can add content in as and when you can. There are lots of different things out there that you can follow, things like a content calendar that will help you to make sure that you're putting out the right amount of content, and importantly, what that content is. So Canva is an amazing, amazing tool that allows people who are very, very poor at design skills, e.g. myself, to build professional looking social media posts. It's an absolutely amazing tool, and it's not just for social media. It can even be used to replace things like PowerPoint. But I think it's fantastic for your Instagram posts, for Facebook posts, for LinkedIn posts. Really, really recommend using it. And you can have a free account on it. There's a huge amount of functionality that's in that free account. Now, what we're trying to do on that is two types of content, right? The two types of content that we're looking at is one that I would call valuable content, and the other type of content is what I would call call to action content. What do those two mean? Hopefully it's fairly self-explanatory in terms of what they actually are, but let's go into a bit more detail. So valuable content is something that's solving an issue for me, or it's giving me some inspiration, or it's helping me decipher and understand, okay, a little bit more around this topic, and you're solidifying yourself as an expert. The call to action part is where you want the person reading this piece of information or reading this post to actually make an action off the back of it. That might be sign up here, or enter your email address here, or buy now, something like that. So you're essentially driving them towards that outcome that you want them to follow. Now, Canva is a brilliant, brilliant tool to help us build those pieces of content. But what we need to make sure is that we're having around 60 to 80% of that content being valuable content, because we want to use social media to build our brand and to build trust. The sort of 20 to 40% is call to action. If we continually bombard our audience with buy now, sign up to this, do that, why would they want to follow us? So have a look at those brands that you follow and try to decipher how much of the time they're actually asking me to buy things. Or are they building that trust with me first, such that when they do ask me to do something, I'm willing and able to do it. So Canva is a really, really useful tool. If you're just starting out, you can get some brilliant, brilliant designs on there. And quite a lot of people still are just using Canva anyway, and they might purchase a sort of a more detailed, or essentially a better piece of the Canva software, and use the paid version so that they can start to produce even better piece of material and essentially drive the collaborative element of it. So you get a lot more collaboration tools. But Canva is something I would definitely recommend. And so today you can go away and build your first Canva post. So you can set up your Instagram page and build a post on Canva and do it today. The other thing that you can do today as well is use something called Linktree. Now, Linktree is absolutely awesome because you've driven traffic to your Instagram page, but now you've got lots of different opportunities that people can pick. There's lots of different areas that they can go to. So with the Interna, which helps connect startups and interns, well, if I just had a link to my website, it's sometimes it's very difficult because on that one page that they're going to see, they may have different needs. They may be an employer. They may only want to join the mailing list. They may want to schedule a call immediately. They may be a student looking for placement year opportunities. So actually Linktree, what it allows you to do is with one link in Instagram, you are able to then offer multiple links within that. And these can be unlimited links. They can be links to your other social media, or able to send you an email straight away, schedule a call straight away. This might link to your Calendly. And then that Calendly, which is another tool, definitely recommend you have a look at Calendly, Ly at the end. Essentially a calendar scheduling tool which can integrate with your inbox already. So if you're using Gmail or Outlook, for example, that means that somebody literally from one post can go onto your profile. They can follow you. They can go onto Linktree. They can look to schedule a call. They can decide, because it can be linked to your calendar, what time they want that call, and they can click through Calendly, click that call, and then it will come up in your inbox and will come up already into your diary with a Zoom link, for example, if you're linked to Zoom, or you might be on Google Meet, whatever video software you're using. So literally from this one simple tool, people can navigate themselves as to where they want to go rather than us guessing. So today you can put together your first Instagram post using Canva, and you can already set up your Linktree with lots of different links there. Really, really useful and exciting tool. So hopefully that's helpful. The world of social media is absolutely huge. You can always outsource it once you get to that essentially that part that you might want to take it off your plate. You can actually start and find some amazing talent on things like Fiverr, where you can outsource it for a little bit at lower cost. Sometimes the quality is not as good, but actually if it means you can concentrate on other parts of your business, then that's helpful. Some people are a social media, essentially a social media first business, in the sense that most of their leads come through social media. So making sure that you're getting that pipeline really, really good is really important. The only other thing that I would add, and it's not under social media, but it is under the umbrella of digital marketing, is your email marketing. Email marketing is so important, and it really, really helps you to build that mailing list that can't change from any algorithm, but you can start to send out content and you can have it all scheduled. An amazing tool I use is called MailerLite. There's also MailChimp that's out there, and there's ActiveCampaign. I haven't personally used ActiveCampaign. I know that it integrates very, very well. Similarly to MailChimp, that integrates very well. My personal favorite is MailerLite, but that's just a personal interest. And you can have a look at lots of different tools. And I've put links to all the tools that I've used, and other ones that are out there that I haven't used yet that you might want to explore yourself in that section, because as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, you'll be bombarded with lots of different software tools, and it's very, very difficult to navigate through. But when it comes to social media, Canva and Linktree are my go-to ones, and I use those for obviously some of the main sites that I'm using. So Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, you might be on Twitter. Think, which one do I use? Do you need to be present on all of them? No, there are lots and lots of different social media platforms. But the ones you are present on, make sure that you are present on them. And that if you've got an Instagram profile that you are posting regularly on that, if you've got a Facebook profile that you are using it regularly and things like that, and you are posting content and being out there and being present. So how do you choose which ones are right for you? Think about your audience. What are my audience using? Is it more of a professional offering that I have? Well, I might go through LinkedIn. Or is it more of a retail type offering that I'm looking at? Well, let's use Instagram and Facebook and things like that. And so what we're really looking to do with our social media is to build a community that has that is interested in the problem that we're solving, that is interested in the services that we're offering. And therefore, once you've built that trust with that audience, you can then start to offer your services, your product to them in a much simpler and also more predictable basis. So a few links there around how to use Canva, how to set up your LinkedIn ads, Facebook ads walkthrough, any Instagram ads that you might want to do. These are all really, really helpful videos that you can dive into, and they go into a lot more detail there, and you can use them to help build it. But hopefully that was helpful for you into social media. That brings us to the end of this part of the digital marketing course. I hope that you found it useful and interesting. And hopefully that a lot of the things that you've learned here are now immediately implementable. And hopefully you now have a much deeper understanding of how the startup strategy, sales business development, and digital marketing is all coming together. And these are the sorts of ideas that we want to make sure that as an entrepreneur we have in mind. And that means that actually when we're looking at problems, we can't be so focused in on one, but actually it's making sure that we have a real strong grasp of all of these elements that are helping us to be successful in your business. And hopefully you will now start to see that success as you start to push through and start to find more customers, generate more leads, and be a lot more successful at closing business as well.